Hey, my wonderful spirit people, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to do the part 2 of the O.J case session. This was absolutely incredible. Like, if you guys like the first one, you guys are really going to love this one because this one was action-packed like the entire time, and we got a lot of answers. So, if you haven't watched that first part, I highly suggest you go watch it. I'll put the thing up here so you can click it and then come back to this afterwards. But guys, this is absolutely amazing. So if you enjoy this video, if you get value out of it, be sure to like it, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Nicole, are you here with me? Okay. Okay, again, I want to go over all of this real quick with this actual app, or make it quicker too. So your bodies were found on June 13th, 1994, 12 o'clock. Is there anything you'd like to say regarding that real quick, now that we have a clear audio source? And is there anything you want to say pertaining to anything on this first page here? Okay, go ahead. Bless you, you're good. Wow. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. Guys, I want you to know too, because some of you may be coming across my channel for the first time, I normally don't do things like this. But lately, I've gotten so much more spiritually strengthened. I've gotten so much more mature through this work that now I'm starting to write things down. I'm starting to take it so much more serious. And I did before, but now it's like I'm really starting to get an understanding of just how much of an impact this makes and how great it could be used to implement the love of God and introduce that to people overall, whether that's what you're getting from this or not, but just seeing that this stuff is real, the spirit world is real, God is real, the devil's real, and we can see all the proof we need to understand those things. Nicole, do you like that statement? What do you think about that statement I just made? I'm sweet and perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not perfect by any means. I'll give you the sweet part, though. I'll give you that one. All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so I think it's very important to mention the reports that were, filed throughout the course of Nicole and OJ's relationship. And these are police reports, actual police reports you can look up. So there was spousal abuse at one point during this marriage, and OJ was actually charged with spousal abuse, but he pled no contest to the charges. So I don't know if that actually happened. Nicole, can you go ahead and tell me, was there spousal abuse? I'm sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, well, let's get to the rest of the reports now. There was 9 police visits, 9 separate police visits throughout the course of their relationship too. There was domestic disturbance calls, and I believe that's it right there. So many times in relationships, as we all know from the outside looking in, or even our own relationships, we know that things happen. Sometimes you get in an argument or whatever the case may be, but there's never an excuse to put your hands on each other. There's never an excuse to have 9 separate police visits. There's never an excuse to get domestic disturbance calls, especially a few times for all of these things, guys. And I think Nicole would agree with that. Nicole, would you say that your relationship with OJ was, at the end of the day, whether the love was real or not, was toxic in a way. Okay, thank you. Is Ronald with you, Nicole? Are you guys together in the afterlife? Hi, thank you, Ronald. Thank you. He's using a female voice because that's the audio source we're using right now. But thank you, Ronald, for that. Okay. So the first case, I wanted to go over kind of what happened in the first case, how that ended. OJ is found not guilty. Apparently, like I said earlier, evidence was not properly gathered in bags, and they were left in the vehicle, which may have overheated them. And at the end of that, I put wow, like what an excuse. So that means all of a sudden none of this evidence matters. That means all of a sudden none of this evidence, the blood that's on there. I'm sorry, if you overheat blood, this DNA pattern, as far as I know, is going to be the same, right? You'll still be able to see whose DNA is on there. You'll still be able to see the facts behind the evidence. Again, California for you. OJ's defense used the race card with a predominantly black jury and was found not guilty by them. The jury is the one that was able to decide this, obviously. And I think there was what? It said 7 black jurors, I believe 2 white, 1 Hispanic, something along those lines, but it was a predominantly black jury. And this is again what I was saying about the California thing and how they use, in my opinion, how they use things like this to do evil things. You're going to use a race card, and I'm not saying racism isn't real in America or anywhere for that matter, and everywhere. But what I am saying is this was not the case here. This was not the case here, and it bothers me so much that people get away with stuff like this because of this petty like race card thing. I just don't understand it. This is somebody who got away with murder, guys. Somebody who got away with murder because of that. Look at it. Look at it. I'm sorry, Nicole. That's so frustrating to me. Were you guys frustrated throughout this case, seeing all of this go down the way it did? Yeah. Yep. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Amen to that. It annoys me too. Very, very much. I'm so sick of people really taking advantage of the legal system. It really annoys me. Anyways, OJ was connected to a robbery in September 2007. Now, again, this is after that case was closed. OJ was let go, even though all the evidence in the world pointed to him. I digress. He was let go because everybody was being racist towards him. OJ was connected to a robbery in September of 2007. He was found guilty of 12 counts of armed robbery, kidnapping, and sentenced to 33 years in prison. How is that for justice? How is that for karma? How is that for that? Amen. How is that for that? Okay? Nicole, can you tell me, do you think OJ was arrested for this and charged with this, and the reason why he was even caught was because of God's justice? Mayors have caused. Wow. So you think he had higher influence helping him to get out of this? Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Nicole. And is there anything else you would like to say regarding that first case or your murder? even Ronald, you can come through and say something if you want. Hey. Anything else you'd like to say, guys, before we go ahead and move on? You guys are making a lot of environmental noise. That's pretty cool. Are you guys making those noises? That's wonderful. I'm glad you guys are enjoying these questions and this session in general. Thank you. Again, I worked hours just putting all this stuff together. And I try to leave my intuition out of it as much as possible because I do get a lot of pictures, images, and stuff. As you saw, I threw it in once or twice, but I try to really keep it out of this one because I want it to be, because I know so much now about this case and the evidence, it really makes, it opens up things for confirmation bias for you intuitively. So I try to put as much of that aside as possible and really use my devices and my spirit connection to my advantage here. So before we end off this session, I wanted to go over the other possible suspects. So again, earlier I was talking about the serial killer. His name was Glenn Rogers, and he was a convicted serial killer. And another person that was in question was Jason Simpson, which is O.J. Simpson's son. Now, the reason why Glenn Rogers was a suspect is because his brother, Clay Rogers, said that Glenn confessed to murdering Nicole and Ron. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of serial killers take credit for shit they didn't do. You know what I mean? They want that, I guess, to add it to their bucket list. I don't know what their reason is, their sick reasons, but I don't believe that that is true. And that's why I asked earlier with pertaining to like if it was a setup or if, you know, OJ may have hired him. And again, this is all word of mouth. This is why this guy was even in question. Word of mouth. With as far as Jason Simpson being, you know, investigated, he was a suspect of private investigator Bill Deere, and he said that his Jason's past girlfriends had a lot of complaints, I guess, of domestic violence and disputes with him, and he pushed them and had a few attacks on them, I guess, with knives and stuff like that, which led this private investigator, Bill Deere, to believe that Jason may have had something to do with that attack. Did Jason Simpson have anything to do with your murder? Did you say you're gonna show me? Yep. Oh, that's graphic. So yeah, this is OJ. OJ is responsible for this. If what I'm being shown right now intuitively, which is literally OJ going up and stabbing them, um, wow, that was graphic. Was that a thing that I just, was that accurate? Did you guys show me a image of this? Must be. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much for confirming that and showing me. Yeah, guys, I have every reason to believe that O.J. Simpson did in fact murder Nicole and Ronald. Yeah, that's wow. Okay, there was no one else there. There was no other anything from what I'm getting, and I'm only saying this again because I believe they want me to mention it, that's why they showed me, is OJ basically walked up to them. Ronald and him began a confrontation. Ronald was stabbed, she was stabbed, and OJ panicked and took off. Now, this was, I don't know if it was premeditated, but if you look at all the evidence again, it looks to me like it was. You don't go somewhere with gloves and a knitted hat and do all of that unless you have some sort of intent. You don't have, no one just walks around with these like leather gloves. It's in LA. It's hot as hell over there from what I know. So yeah, this just, everything points to OJ. My intuition, and obviously all the evidence, guys. So you take what you want from it, but that was my going over the OJ case, talking to the spirit of Nicole and Ronald. Thank you guys so much for giving us this clarity. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys rest in peace. Is there anything you guys would like to say before we end off this session? Thank you so much. I'm so happy that we were able to get these answers for you. I just feel this happiness, this celebration of sort, because they know it's not, this will never hold up in court, something like this. They would never, because we would catch all their demonic workings and tricks and schemes if they allowed this. This is why they suppress it, guys. This is why this stuff is suppressed. This is why our people, I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody specific or government or whatever, but this is why we've been taught to believe and thought to believe things like Casper the Friendly Ghost and all of these different like things. Most of the time, we got lucky with Casper because they actually didn't make him look like a complete, asshole. But usually, anything spiritual is perceived as demonic or anything like that. But this is why they perceive it like that. This is why they want us to see it like that, because we can get our own answers. We can investigate ourselves. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. Anyways, guys, I love you. I digress on that one, but that session definitely did get me a little annoyed just seeing how things work. But I do want you to also take note that he was arrested again. Karma's a bitch, guys. Karma's real. God's real, and God is watching every single one of you. If you think you could escape his justice, you got another thing coming. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Nicole. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Nicole. Much love and light to you guys. I hope you enjoy yourselves in the kingdom of heaven. Like I said, I felt their light when they walked through, which means that they came from heaven. Were you guys, are you guys in heaven? Yeah, he's right. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Much love and light. Thank you. This was incredible. This was so incredible. Goodbye. I love you too. Thank you. I love you guys too. I love every single soul on this planet that is pure, that is love, that is of God. Thank you. Wow. That was a powerful, powerful session, guys. Yeah, there's a reason why this work is suppressed. There is a reason why. If people could just do what I do here and figure out the truth for themselves, how much would they be able to lie to us? Not very much. We're done with the lies. We're done with the games. It's time for God to take back his kingdom. It's time for God to show you guys just how real he is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Ooh, Taj.